Good morning, guys. So, I want to talk about something today that might be a little bit of a brain hack for some of you. I want to talk about how we operate. We as humans, so much of our lives is operated by and off of pressure, right? How many of us would work, do the jobs that we do, whatever, if we did not have to make rent money? If we did not have to pay for our own food or what have you? You know, like, I was injured for a while and I didn't have to work. Granted, workman's comp covered me for that period of time. It wasn't great. It wasn't great by any means, because workman's comp only covers about 60% of your income. So it was a tight squeeze, but I didn't have to work. It was good because it gave me the time to recover, but at the same time, what would you be doing if you didn't have that pressure? How many of us are in some kind of relationship, familial, friendship, relationship, marriage, whatever, because of pressure? Okay. Horses, as I have learned through discussions with my therapist, who used to use horses as a therapy tool, equine assisted therapy. Horses are prey animals. And in looking into a lot of horse training videos, because I would love to have a horse one day, horses respond to pressure. They are guided through pressure cues. That's how the training starts, is to teach them how to respond to pressure in the way that we want. It's used to shape their behaviors. And we humans are so very much the same. When you've got a situation where somebody is pressuring you about something, what do you do? Say it's passive-aggressive pressure. And they say, oh, I was just kidding. And then, what do you do with that? Because if you don't do what they're trying to get you to do, then you look like the bad guy. Okay? And so much of what we do, I've been seeing a couple of videos on this too, is because we want to be liked and accepted. There's that pressure for us to do this so that we will be accepted. See, I grew up as an only child in the woods, and I was on my own a lot. Obviously not all the time, but I grew up in a safe area where it was relatively okay for me to be doing that. So as a result, as a kid, I was homeschooled until 3rd grade. So when I went to school, I did not care what anybody thought. I wore what I wanted to wear, and the kids, they laughed. Kids can be really mean. And it didn't stop me from liking or wearing the things that I wanted to. Wild paisley patterns and fabric types and stuff like that. I was kind of an eccentric kid. But that's what being a kid should be about, is being able to be just a kid, man. It's dumb what we do to kids. So, pressure, right? There's societal pressure for so many things, and there's person-on-person pressure for so many more things. And that's what manipulators use. They use pressure. And a lot of times what they will do is they will use pressure and then deny that they are using pressure in order to get you to do what they want. Okay, so manipulation is never okay, all right? Some pressure can be healthy. Like, if I'm on somebody's butt about their health, you know, I'm not gonna go screaming down their throat every day about it. No. But if I know that there is a habit that they have that's affecting their health, and they've told me that they want to change it, then yeah, I'm going to ask them if they have made the choices to pick up a positive habit to replace that habit that's sabotaging their health. And it is not, okay, I'll say this, it is not me putting pressure on them per se. It is accountability, because they've expressed a desire to do this, and I'm not out there telling them to do it. I'm not out there guilting or shaming them. I'm checking in with them and how they're doing and giving them a reminder, because changing habits can be really hard, especially if you are used to feeling helpless to do that. And if they're struggling, they know they can talk to me about it. I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to come down on them if, you know, they have not been doing or making those healthier choices. I'll say, hey, okay, you know, what's going on? How can I help? Is there something that's influencing this? You know, do you need to talk about it? What do we need to do to work through this? To empower you to make healthier choices. A lot of times it's just people getting sick of their own crap. And you can't force somebody to get there. But you can care about them enough to check in, and sometimes, and again, you know, this is a very, very case-by-case basis. Sometimes they will get so sick of it that they'll actually do something about it, but at the same time, that's not the optimal result. You want somebody doing something because they want to do it. You know? Me, I just want to show somebody that I care about them enough that they are, like, worth caring about, so that hopefully they're like, oh, you know, they kind of start to figure out that they can care about themselves without guilt. But then there's a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy too that goes into that, and reframing belief systems. So that brings me to belief systems, because belief systems also create a lot of pressure. And those things are pressure that comes from inside of us, but it's actually external, if that makes sense. If it's coming from somebody else, somebody else's desires for what we believe, you know, bro, thank you. I am most definitely going the speed limit, bro. It's raining. Oh, it's a work truck. It's got cones in the back. A lumber rack. That's fine. Anywho, pressure, external. So we pick up these voices from our peers, our parents, our teachers, whoever in our lives, who told us things about ourselves that we could or couldn't, or need to or shouldn't, or, you know, they created the voices of shame or incompetence or what have you. And bruh, this guy. And so those become internalized, and those become our internal voices. Those become how we interpret our own actions, the actions of others, and the outcomes that we have. So be really freaking careful, okay, about whose voice you're listening to. really important because it's going to determine how you live your life. But that goes back to pressure again. When you are creating pressure on yourself internally from these external voices that are not you, that have created these belief systems about your value, about what is important, what is valuable, about how to treat yourself and how to talk to yourself, what you believe is true about yourself, about others. That is its own self-contained system. And you've got to look at it, and you've got to challenge it, and you've got to ask, is this healthy? If you talk down about yourself, is this healthy? No, because positive change does not come from breaking yourself down and telling yourself how bad you are. That's not how that works, okay? That's not how the brain works. The brain works by saying, I am capable of change. I am capable of this. I am capable of growth. And you focus yourself on your goals, on where you want to go, rather than on where you don't want to go. Okay, does that make sense? Because where you are right now may really suck. And some of your decisions may have contributed to where you are now. But if you sit there and beat yourself up about it, it's not going to change where you are right now. It's going to make you feel like crap about yourself. And then that's going to reinforce the belief that you deserve what you've got right now. Okay? Don't do that. Right? It's just a negative cycle. And it does not serve you in any way. I promise you. We humans are wired to work off of pressure. But when we can harness pressure, or when we can be aware of it and how it is possibly affecting us, we could change that script. Okay? I've had people pressure me into things before, and I can absolutely tell you, yeah, we are wired to give in to pressure. Now, there are those people out there who flip the bird to people who are pressuring them and go, no, screw you. And sometimes there are consequences associated with that because of the power somebody holds. But I'm going to tell you what, become conscious of where the pressure is coming from, where that is coming from, whether it is some internal voice that's been programmed, whether it is somebody in your life who is perpetuating these belief systems, or whether it's something you just kind of amalgamated yourself, if it's what you're choosing. No, that's not a cop. And how it's driving your actions, because you are creating pressure on yourself to behave in a certain way, whether that is a positive or a negative way. So become aware of that. Become aware of how pressure from others affects you, how you respond to that. Because once you're aware of how you respond to that, you can begin to change and tailor that response consciously, rather than allowing that subconscious response to drive your actions. So, just some food for thought this morning, guys. I recently had a situation where I had somebody putting pressure on me, and I just said, no, not doing it. Nope, not playing this game. So, you can do that. You're very, very capable of doing that. And you are entirely entitled to do that. Because most of the time, what people will do is they will pressure you to do something that serves their own interest. So be careful, be aware of whose interest you're serving, Be aware of who's putting pressure on you and why, and if it's benefiting you or not. So, or, you know, if it's just benefiting them. All right, guys, I gotta run into work. Have a great day.